But history remembers him as a man through whom the supernatural walked among the natural. William Branham, a forerunner of modern healing revivals and a man whose life remains one of the most mysterious and miraculous in Christian history. Born on April 6, 1909, in a small log cabin in the hills of Kentucky, Branham entered the world under unusual conditions. His family was extremely poor, and from birth, his life was marked by divine signs. His mother claimed that at the moment of his birth, a supernatural light hovered over the infant. Neighbors witnessed it. Many dismissed it as folklore, but it would not be the last time light would surround his life. At the age of 7, something strange happened. While walking in the woods, young William heard a voice from the wind that said, "Never drink, smoke, or defile your body. There's a work for you to do when you get older." Terrified and confused, he kept it to himself. But the encounters grew stronger. As a teenager, he experienced visions, detailed glimpses of people, events, and futures that would come true with shocking accuracy. These weren't dreams. They were open revelations, seen with open eyes, often confirmed by witnesses later. Branham didn't grow up religious. In fact, he tried to run from the strange calling on his life. But after nearly dying in an accident, he finally surrendered to God and entered full-time ministry. And that's when the miracles began. In 1933, while baptizing converts in the Ohio River, a supernatural light appeared again, visible to hundreds. As Branham baptized the 17th person, a voice thundered from above. As John the Baptist was sent to forerun the first coming of Christ, your message will forerun his second coming. Newspapers reported the event. Witnesses were stunned. But for Branham, it was destiny unfolding. He began holding revival meetings, and crowds exploded. Not because of fame or flash, but because miracles happened. Blind eyes opened. Deaf ears were unstopped. Cancers vanished. Tumors fell off. The lame walked. Thousands flocked to hear this humble preacher who often dressed plainly and spoke softly, but carried a violent anointing of God's presence. He never took credit. Instead, he often said, "I can do nothing unless he shows me first." Before praying for the sick, Branham would go into a vision, describing in exact detail the person's name, their illness, sometimes even their address, before they ever said a word. Skeptics tried to trap him. Many left converted. Because the accuracy was too perfect, people called it the discernment gift, but Branham described it as seeing into God's supernatural database, like watching a movie play before his eyes. The atmosphere in his meetings was thick with reverence. He would often pause and say, "The angel of the Lord is near," and moments later, the miracles would begin. He was not just a healing evangelist, he was also a prophet. He gave accurate prophecies years before their fulfillment. In 1933, he saw visions of World War II, the rise of Adolf Hitler, the fall of Mussolini, and even predicted the invention of a driverless car decades before technology even imagined it. He also foresaw the moral decline of America, the rise of denominational confusion, and the coming of a bride revival, a pure church prepared for Christ's return. Despite the supernatural weight on his life, Branham remained deeply humble. He never built a megachurch. He lived modestly and pointed everything back to Jesus Christ. To him, it was never about a movement or fame, but about returning the church to the original apostolic faith. His meetings were filled with awe and fear of God. Testimonies poured in, incurable diseases healed, demons cast out, lives transformed. Many were saved not by sermons, but by witnessing undeniable demonstrations of God's power. But like many men of extraordinary callings, Branham's journey was not without controversy. Some questioned his teachings. Others misunderstood his gift. Toward the end of his life, he often warned of denominational systems that would drown out the Spirit's voice. He longed to see a bride of Christ, a people sold out to holiness, truth, and spiritual fire. In December 1965, tragedy struck. William Branham and his family were involved in a terrible car accident in Texas. Days later, on Christmas Eve, he passed away at the age of 56. His final words were a prayer. His voice was gone, but his message would echo for generations. To this day, millions around the world still read, listen, and study his sermons. His influence shaped the ministries of later revivalists and healing evangelists. He laid the foundation for what would become the latter rain movement, healing revival, and modern prophetic ministry. William Branham's life is a reminder that God still raises ordinary people to do extraordinary things. Through visions, healings, and a prophetic voice, he called a sleeping church to wake up and prepare for the return of the King. He often said, "The greatest of all miracles is to be born again." So let every sign, every healing, and every vision lead us back, not to a man, but to the one he always pointed to, Jesus Christ. The supernatural wasn't just a moment, it was a message, and that message is still alive today.